because I know where I'm going, and I'm going to leave, if I do die, I'm going to leave Jill and the kids behind, and it's going to be so much harder for them. But he said, if people really understood what heaven was like, they would not ask to be healed. And that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Heaven is beckoning out there for me. It's just there, and maybe I'll be there soon. And if my life gets cut 20 to 30 years short, what's that? 20 or 30 years in the light of eternity. It is absolutely a drop in the ocean, isn't it? And in Ecclesiastes 7 verse 2, this is what I think about quite a bit. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, for that is the end of every man, and the living should take it to heart. And I always used to look at that scripture and think, yeah, that's good, but it's a bit bit depressing in some ways. But when you think about it, it isn't, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? We are all going to meet our Maker at some point, and whilst it's great to have fantastic parties like my 52nd, I believe, was for me, we need to be contemplating, that this life is so short. 70 or 80 years we've got, and then it's all over. And if you ask me, like, am I really confident that there is a heaven and stuff? I probably, in all of my time being sick, I've probably only doubted for 20 minutes. I went there for 20 minutes just thinking, man, I wonder if there wasn't anything else out there. I wonder if it was just suddenly, bang, the lights are off and it's all over. But then I just got thinking about God and creation, the universe, how brilliantly it is made, and you only need to get the earth moving out of its sequence with the sun slightly, and the whole thing would come crashing down. Or you look at our bodies and how brilliantly we are made, to know that there is a creator, and if there is a creator, it's Jesus, and he's got heaven out there just like he's promised for us. So I don't worry about that at all. I think about heaven continually. What's heaven going to be like? And it's not going to be us up there on a cloud with a harp playing away.
Really good harp.
Yeah, for you, Joel.
Singing, I'll be able to sing.
But
I'll be a rock star.
No, it's okay.
I've got a moment.
If I gave her the mic, I'd never get it back. So I'm nearly done, Joel. But what is it going to be like? What are we going to be doing up there? God, they say we've got crowns, and we'll be ruling. We'll be co-heirs, co-rulers with Christ up there, and we'll be doing stuff. There'll be jobs, there'll be tasks, and the universe is expanding outwards at the speed of light at the moment. New galaxies, new stars are being created as we sit here, and it's just exploding out there. So imagine how big that is, and the what's going to be out there. That's what I think about anyway. And heaven must be brilliant because there's no marriage. So how much better up there
I don't
must...
know whether this is working. Are you digging
No,
it
how much better up there must it be if you're not married?
No, it's not getting any.
I got out of it, Joel. And just final scripture, 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9. But as it is written, the eye has not seen, nor the ear heard, nor has entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those that love him. And you think of the best times that you've had sitting in worship, and just how awesome that sound is, and how amazing it is. The ear has not heard, the eye has not seen, and nor has even entered into the heart of man or the mind of man those things that God has prepared for us. So that is incomprehensible for me. It's just going to be unbelievably good. So I'm looking forward to that. So in conclusion, my faith journey has been interesting on the way through. I hope I haven't said anything wrong there, as though I'm not in faith, because I'm still believing for that miracle. I believe faith is a journey, and I've been through different bits and pieces with it there. Life's all, it's not about the trivial, it's about friends and family. It's about your relationship with people, giving and giving out and so forth. It's about heaven, because, as I say, 70 or 80 years, I might be cut short, 20 or 30, but big deal for me anyway. Big deal when you contemplate that in light of eternity, like Maddie was singing, with Amazing Grace. When we've been there for 10,000 years. It's we haven't even begun. It's just the beginning. So don't be sad for me, because I know where I'm going. I'm happy in where I'm at, and confident with where I'm going. Thanks.